What up, everybody? This is Kelvin McNeil, and welcome back to my channel where we discuss financial wellness, mindset therapy, and real estate. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a little throwback. I haven't done one of these in a while where I just get straight to the point and give you the information that you're looking for. Now, today's topic is business funding in 2024. All right. Now, a lot of things have changed. I've made videos a couple years ago, right? And as time evolves, right, as the financial climate changes, so do banks and the underwriters and what they're looking for. So right now, if you've been denied or you've had a hard time trying to figure out what funding programs are out there, this is the video for you. So stay tuned because I'm going to give you real data points, right? The minimum qualifications for different types of business funding that's out there, specifically alternative funding. So let's jump right into it without further ado. Now, of course, if you have any questions as I go through and I show you this different stuff, I want you to utilize that comment section, all right? Because I do talk back, unlike some other YouTubers, okay? So real quick, let me just show you a video that I did a while back. About 2 years ago, I made a video that did pretty well, that was pretty popular, and it was about how to get business funding, right? And in that video, here it is right here. You see, I got the red and white shirt on with the red cap. This is it, right? How to get a business loan. And I had fun making this video, impersonating some of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But ultimately, I did talk about, what working capital is. So if you don't know what working capital is, definitely watch that video. And I went into the different types of unsecured funding options. I didn't like that pause. Unsecured funding options that were available, right? I talked about term loans, lines of credit, SBA, MCAs, all that good stuff. But the whole thing here is I did not give you specific individual data points and minimum qualifications for each of those products. And that's why I'm making this video today. So let me go ahead and do you the favor of taking you step by step and looking at each of these different funding products, starting with the first and most common, which is a term loan. So whenever you whenever you go to a bank or you're typing in business loans in a web browser or Google, whatever the case may be, this is what you're going to find. They are the traditional bank style financing. And the reason why it's that way, because you're going to have a traditional APR. There's no prepayment penalties. So if you don't know what that means, there are some sneaky fees that they will slide in. Different banks will charge you a fee if you pay your loan off early. But in this case, they don't do that. And this is why this is a great one that you should check out. But you can get funding in 1 to 3 days. The fees start at 7.99%, which of course, that will change depending on the financial climate and what time or year you actually apply. But the takeaway here, the big takeaway, guys, is you can get up to $2 million and the minimum is $25,000. But the key thing here, most banks will want you to be in business for at least 2 years. They're going to look at your financials and you need to have good credit. What I mean, good credit, as you can see there, it says 660 or above, and that's FICO score. So not what Credit Karma is showing you or any of those free credit monitoring sites. We're talking about your real FICO scores, okay? Now let's talk about another type of business loan. We're talking about SBA loans. These are government-backed loans that the Small Business Administration will give you if you apply through what they call an SBA approved lender. They will require you, or they're going to be looking for you to have at least 3 years time in business. And this is just what you should expect whenever you're applying for an SBA loan. Now, there are other SBA loans that may want you or require you to have at least 2, but this one is at least 3 years. Now, you may be asking, like, I'm a new business. How can I even get an SBA loans? But to be quite frank, SBA loans are not for you because think about it this way. SBA loans are government backed and government secured loans. So they're looking for different entrepreneurs and small businesses that have survived those rough patches, those first few years, because the common stat that everybody loves to spit out is the high percentage of new businesses that don't survive past the first year, the first 2 years, and in this case, the first 3 years. All right. But if you do qualify, the great thing is they don't require you to have excellent credit. Matter of fact, you can even squeeze in the door with bad credit, and you just have to prove that you are projected to make at least 60,000, or you have made gross, not net, 60,000 in annual sales, which is pretty low. So if you qualify for that, the beautiful thing is you can get up to $5 million. The terms go up to 25 years. That's unheard of, the longest terms. But the drawback is you will have to wait and be prepared to wait at least 3 whole months, 3 calendar months to receive the funds. Now, that's just anytime you're dealing with the government, it is going to take time. The same thing happens when you are applying for a grant, which is free money. Be prepared to wait several months before you get that funding. Now let's talk about unsecured working capital. Now, what is working capital? So working capital is the money that your business needs to keep your business afloat and to, run your day-to-day expenses, right? Now, as it says here, unsecured working capital isn't technically a loan, but rather a cash advance that is paid back by withdrawing a percentage of your credit sales, typically on a daily basis. Now, this is why I've never really went and got a working capital loan. It's my least favorite, but working capital loans and also MCAs, which is a merchant cash advance, are the, blood of the small business financing industry. Because whenever you get in trouble, if you feel like you're starting to lose sales, these are the type of financing that can keep your business afloat. Okay, now let's talk about the benefits. Not only do you have no compounding interest, but funds can be used for any use, and you get fully customizable financing based on your specific business needs. The qualifications are very low, no minimum FICO, 60,000 in annual gross sales, just like the SBA, and you only got to be in business for 3 months. So for my business owners who may be complaining about the fact that most business loans are going to require you, or at least look for you, to have good credit, this is not one of them. There is no minimum FICO, and you only got to be in business for 3 years. So this would qualify or as a classification of a startup funding type of program. Now, there are flexible terms. You can get same day funding. And of course, there is a $10,000 up to a $5 million funding that you can get. And let me go ahead, just in case you guys are interested in any of these programs, let me just put a banner at the bottom so you know where to go to find more information. All right, so let's go on to the next one. A business line of credit. If you're new to my channel, you may not have heard me say it, but I love to say this anytime I talk about business line of credit. It is my favorite type of funding because it is the fastest way to six-figure funding. Okay. Now I go way more in depth in my course about this, but the short and skinny of it is, if let's say you apply for a business line of credit and they approve you for $80,000, you can just, let's say you only need 10 or 15,000 of it. You can use the 15,000, pay that back within a reasonable amount of time, making on-time payments. And then before you know it, you do that once or twice, and you could look up and that $80,000 line of credit just got bumped up to $150,000. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this is a staple and my favorite type of business financing. So let's talk about it. It's flexible to the business owner. You only pay the interest on what you use, right? The funds that you draw. Credit is available as needed. Okay. So unlike a credit card, or typically like a credit card, you have access to whatever you get approved for, that whole limit, but whatever you use is what you pay. They do have very fast approvals because you can get approved same day or in 1 to 3 days. The minimum FICO score is non-existent. Yes, this is the biggest reason why I promote and I tell people about the RokFi line of credit, because if you go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal, whoever you have a business checking account with, they are going to be looking for you to have a business checking account for 6 months, just like RokFi, but they also are going to be looking for you to have good credit. So the difference between them, like your traditional banks, and RokFi, a alternative financing company, is they aren't actually looking at your FICO score for this specific product. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. And you don't need to make $10,000 or $15,000 a month. Now, before we move on to the next one, I think it's important for me to state that this is not a stated income type of business funding program. So I know a lot of you may be looking to get business funding and you want to apply and just put down whatever number you want. That's not going to fly here. Okay. They will be asking for you to supply them with business financials, specifically business checking statements. So the reason why any qualification that you see says 3 months in business or minimum 6 months in business, that's how many business checking statements they're going to be asking for you to provide. Okay. So whatever number you put down, be truthful. It's not worth it to lie. That's technically bank fraud anyway. So just be honest about what your average, your MRR is, your monthly recurring revenue. And then if you get approved, you get approved. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. They're not even going to do a hard pull credit check to begin with. So be truthful, but this is an awesome product. And next, we're going to talk about accounts receivable financing. Now, what's accounts receivable? Now, this is financing that is going to be dependent on your business's financing. So your invoices, that's essentially what accounts receivable is. It's going to be based on your assets or your invoicing trail. Okay. This is a collateralized loan, but you don't have to provide any additional collateral. It is going to be based on your financials. Okay. The benefits of this is you typically get a lower interest rate. And it saves you time from collecting your receivables. And this also opens up cash flow for your business. Okay. Qualifications, again, no minimum FICO. There's a trend here, right? That's why I wanted to make this video, to let you guys know there are some alternative funding options if you are someone who's in the process of rebuilding or repairing your consumer credit. Now, an aging report is required, meaning whatever report they pull, it's going to be a report that goes back. And it's going to be a report that they continue to hold on to moving forward as well. And your annual gross sales, though, for this does need to be $500,000. Yes, 500,000 is required for this specific type of funding. But of course, this may not be for everybody. So let's look at the last one. We're going to talk about equipment financing. So as you see right there on the video, all of my truckers, all of my people who are in auto sales or my auto mechanics or any type of business, barbers, right? Any type of business that requires you to purchase an equipment in order to do business, even food trucks. Equipment financing is huge in the restaurant industry and food industry, because then you got to turn around and buy a commercial oven or commercial kitchen and everything else you need, or like I said, a food truck, then this is for you. So listen up. The benefits of getting an equipment financing loan is you will have, minimum monthly payments. You can do multi-year financing. You do get longer terms than, let's say, a traditional term loan. There's either low or no down payment. So if right now you're looking to get your first or second truck, or you're looking to get a food truck, then this is something you want to consider, because if you're low on funds, and then sometimes there are different scenarios where you may not need to make a down payment and you may be able to qualify to finance the entire purchase. Okay. And of course, under Section 179, there are different tax benefits that you could get. Now, I must tell you, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax professional. So if you want to learn more about how you can get tax benefits, then definitely seek your professional or whoever you go to for your taxes, right? Now let's talk about the minimum qualifications. There's no time in business required. So yes, this is perfect for startup companies that need equipment to run their business and make money. And this is another one of those funding programs that is not going to require you to have excellent credit, but you should have at least a 580 FICO score, which I think most of you have. If you don't have a 580 credit score, I would certainly love for you to schedule a free credit repair consultation with my company, which is GreenScale Credit. Just go to greenscalecredit.com to book that consultation, or look in the description below to make sure that you do qualify for enough money to get that first truck or whatever you're looking for in terms of equipment financing. Now, one thing I do want to say, outside, of course, you do see that there is no minimum annual gross revenue, because this is great for startup companies. Listen, guys, if you want to get approved for equipment financing, I'll tell you time and time again, you need to have a business plan. You need to be able to provide proof and a real strategy of how you plan to specifically get this equipment and turn a profit. You may be wondering, like, okay, you can have bad credit. There's no minimum time in business. There's no minimum annual gross revenue. Like, this seems too good to be true. Well, guys, they're not going to approve you if you're just applying for equipment without being able to articulate and tell them through a business plan or something else of how you plan to do this, how you plan to make money. Okay. So keep that in mind. But with this one, the funding is between 1 to 5 business days, and the terms range from 1 to 5 years. Now, if you're interested in applying for any of these programs that I just finished going over with you, as you can see right here below, right here, okay, you need to go to tinyurl.com/GSC RokFi. That stands for GreenScale Credit and RokFinancial, okay? Right here, you can see right there, we have a co-branded landing page that'll easily allow you to just simply answer some simple questions, guys. What's your credit score? What industry are you in? Okay. What's your time in business? What are your annual sales? Be honest, guys, when you fill out this part. And what product are you familiar with? So I know it says business loan here, but any product that I just went over, maybe some more, because for example, we do have inventory financing, purchase order financing, fix and flip, AR factoring, all that good stuff. You just select the type of product that you're interested in and then click apply now. I know it says apply now, but they're not going to pull your credit. Obviously, you didn't put in your SSN or anything like that. What this is going to do is it's just going to allow us to go ahead and give you a call and answer some questions that you may have. And also, we'll be asking you some questions to determine if this is something that you qualify for or what the best product is. I talked about it some in this video, but for my startup companies that are looking for funds to, launch your business and start making money, we do have startup funding for you, even if you don't need equipment financing. Okay. Remember, it's a simple application. I just showed you. This is it. This is the application. It only takes about 15 seconds. Go through that really quick. Again, there's no minimum FICO score for small business funding, and you could get potentially funded in the same day. Now, the most important thing that I want to tell you guys is, remember, you fill out that information, you will be contacted by an advisor. Now, the reason why you want to apply with my link that you see below is because I have been given a really great advisor, so that anybody applies through my link is going to talk to my advisor, and they're just really good. I've done business and gone through this process myself to get business funding, and that's the only reason why I recommend them, because I can definitely tell you from my own experience that these guys are great. They're going to show you the options that are available. If you qualify, they're going to give you a pre-approval, and then at that point, you can accept or deny it. And of course, if they ask you to provide any documents, guys, don't ghost them. At least communicate with them if you change your mind. Otherwise, provide the documents that they need to underwrite your loan and get you approved, and you can get funding very fast. Okay. Now, just to kind of remind you, for the startup companies, this is it. It shows you right here on the website. There's no minimum time in business required, no minimum monthly sales required. They would prefer that you have a 650 or above, but there's really no minimum FICO. It just depends on your situation. But of course, the higher your credit score, the better chances you have to get approved. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful in any way, you know what to do. Share this with other like-minded individuals, any other business owners that are looking for funding. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment and I will get back to you. I try to respond to every single one of my comments, unless you're just trolling or it doesn't make sense for me to respond, or I just simply did not see it. If you use spammy words, it'll hide the comments from me, and I promise I'm not ignoring you. But with that being said, if you have any other type of business funding programs that you're interested in that you would like me to make a video on, drop it in down below in the comments as well. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. Love you guys. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.